I want to stay anonymous with this because honestly, I still have nightmares about it. Even now, it feels dangerous to share. I've dealt with anxiety and paranoia since this happened, and though I'm stronger now, the scars will never really fade. I was never the most outgoing type growing up. Teachers used to tell my parents I was quiet to the point of concern. I wasn't failing classes or anything, but socially I struggled. Even into adulthood, I was awkward, reserved, and usually just stuck to a small group of close friends. By my early 20s, I had finally moved out of my parents' house and into a duplex I could afford through my job. It wasn't anything fancy, but for me at the time, it felt like a big step up. The independence, space, and the feeling that I was finally building a life. Dating hadn't really been a huge part of my life, but like most people, I eventually tried dating apps. That's where I met Samantha. She seemed sweet at first, talkative, funny, and definitely interested in me. Honestly, I was flattered. We went on a few dates, and within weeks, we were calling each other boyfriend and girlfriend. At first, it was exciting. She texted me constantly, always wanting to know what I was doing or when she could see me. But soon, it started feeling less like interest and more like control. She expected me to answer instantly, and if I didn't, she'd call over and over. She even suggested we share locations so we'd never lose track of each other. I wasn't thrilled, but I gave in. And that was the first mistake that I regret up until now. Not long after, the obsessive behavior got worse. If I was at a friend's house, she'd text me demanding to know why I wasn't home. One night, while hanging out in my buddy's basement, she just showed up. She actually knocked on the door, furious that I hadn't answered her messages quickly enough. I tried to laugh it off at first, but deep down, I was starting to feel uneasy. Eventually, I told her we needed space. She didn't take it well. My phone blew up with calls, messages, and even pounding on my front door. My neighbor had to tell her to leave when she started screaming my name in the street. That night, I blocked her number and stopped sharing my location. For a week, things were silent. I thought maybe that was it. Maybe she had finally let go. But then came the night I realized how wrong I was. I had just gotten home late, microwaved some leftovers, and put on a movie. While waiting for the food, I heard something, a faint thud from the hallway. At first, I brushed it off. But then I noticed the door to my laundry room, which I always kept shut, was slightly open. My stomach sank. I muted the TV and just stood there listening. Then I heard the soft sound of breathing. I grabbed the biggest kitchen knife I had and dialed 911, speaking loud enough so whoever was in the house would know I wasn't alone. Police came quickly and did a full sweep of the place. They checked closets, crawl spaces, even the attic. No one was found. They told me to call again if anything happened and left. I tried to convince myself I was imagining things. I went upstairs, locked my bedroom door, and eventually fell asleep. But in the middle of the night, my phone buzzed. Dozens of messages from an unknown number. Long apologies begging me to see her again, followed by shorter texts. "Wake up. Are you awake? Please answer me." My chest tightened. I knew it was Samantha. I texted back, "This has to stop. You're scaring me. Please leave me alone." The moment I hit send, a voice screamed from inside my bedroom closet.
No.
The door burst open. Samantha came lunging out, wielding a knife. I barely had time to react. I threw myself out of bed and bolted to the door, slamming it shut behind me. She started stabbing through the wood, screaming my name over and over. In pure panic, I shouted through the door that I loved her, that we could work things out, anything to get her to stop. My hands were shaking as I quietly called 911 again. It worked, at least enough to make her pause. She sobbed on the other side of the door, saying all she wanted was for me to admit I still cared. I told her to put the knife down. She actually listened, throwing it across the room. That's when I yanked the door open and tackled her, holding her down as she fought and screamed. I was still on the phone with 911, begging them to hurry. Minutes later, police kicked my front door in and stormed upstairs. They cuffed her as she wailed hysterically. The aftermath was long and grueling: restraining orders, court hearings, the terrifying realization that someone I trusted was capable of trying to kill me. Samantha was sentenced to prison for multiple charges, including attempted murder, but none of that really gave me peace. This was someone I thought I cared about, someone I let into my home, my life. The thought that she was hiding in my house for hours before revealing herself still makes my blood run cold. I'll never fully get over it. I'm sharing this story anonymously because maybe it'll warn someone else. Pay attention to the red flags. Don't ignore the behaviors that make your gut twist, because if you don't, you might end up like me, staring down the face of someone you once loved as they try to end your life.